Hey everyone, thank you for tuning in to another podcast episode. This is Life and Drawing Podcast, episode 47. And this will be a shorter video because it's currently 4:43 a.m. And is this the East Coast? I believe this is the East Coast. I shouldn't even. Why did I go into geography? I was never good with geography. I don't even know why I went into. Anyway, it's early, but it's not early enough because I need to get ready for work in the next 15 minutes. So I figure I would jump on and talk about. And I'm not sure if I broached this topic already. I'm not sure, but it's basically why draw when you're bored. And by that I mean, particularly if you are an aspiring artist, and this can be. I'm using drawing because that's what I do most of the time. I do paint as well, but that requires much more time and a more heightened level of focus. I could step away from the screen or my work table and return to it. But painting is something that I have to do where everyone's asleep. I can't have any, distractions. Or I should say interruptions, because, that just won't work. And then on the practical side of things, because I'm working more with oil paints, it's not as easy to quickly clean up if one was working with acrylics, and so yeah. So basically, you can apply this topic to whatever field of art you're in: painting, drawing, design, interior design, graphic design, whatever it is, photography. I think you'll have to figure out how to substitute what I'm saying with your own particular field. So, but as a visual graphic artist, it's going to be on drawing, and so it just came to my mind. It's like, there are many times. I almost want to say probably more times than I would like to admit. Turn the volume up on this. More times I would like to admit when I didn't want to draw. I didn't want to. I was just not feeling it, and I've had a few instructors where, I shouldn't say a few, I've had different instructors, and some have said, you don't wait for inspiration to draw. Through your drawing, you should discover or become inspired. And honestly, I've seen that. I've experienced that, and I've also experienced where I am inspired before I draw. Whether it's just a crazy sunset or whether it's nature based, and it could be sunset, a wild animal, just doing its thing. Sometimes an inanimate object. There have been times, and I don't know if any of you have come across this, where the doors, whether like an interior door, and if it's not painted, but it still has its natural wood, but it's just been sanded down and clear coated, and the rings, the sometimes they make a shape or a design or a side of a face profile, and I mean I get inspired by that, and then sometimes I get inspired by other artists, and not just visually. It could be musically as well. Someone playing an instrument or someone singing. Um, you know, uh, the fine arts, the acting and all that. Um, so there are many times when just witnessing a different performance or just a different life experience, gets me motivated as well. So, but all that to say, when you are bored and just not interested at all to draw, or to create anything, just yeah, man, just take out a piece of paper and just start sketching, start drawing, or go to your tablet, you know, your Intuos or whatever hand tablet you have, your on-screen monitor, whatever it is. Just go on and just start drawing. Even if it's just, as you saw, I was just doing lines like this. It doesn't have to be anything in particular. It could just be, man, you're just working on. And again, you don't even have to. You just make it as spontaneous as you want it to be. And sometimes that's hard when you first start because you're like, oh well, I want it to be spontaneous, but I want it to be spontaneously something that I have something that I'm designing in my mind, and then that's not really spontaneous, and that's hard to do. It's really a hard exercise just to not think of anything and just start drawing. And of course, as you create something, that becomes tougher because you're like, hey, you know what? This is forming into this type of thing. This is actually forming into a building, and then you will then naturally, gradually pivot towards that visual concept that you created randomly and spontaneously. And then what it does too as well, and I'm sure you've heard this elsewhere, as have I, it creates discipline. Um, where it just forces you to, you know what, this is something I have to do. Particularly if you're seeking and pursuing it as a full-time career, that is something that you would eventually want to do. Then it's a good practice because then it reinforces the responsibility of, hey, if there's a deadline, whether you are working for yourself or you are working for a company, in whatever capacity, his animation, comic work, whatever it is, and if there's a deadline that needs to be met, you want to have that muscle you want to have that muscle memory, not muscle memory, what am I trying to say? You want to have the attitude that you've developed and nurtured of, hey, making a deadline, keeping a deadline, and and working even when you don't want to, or you don't feel like it. And so, and not to contradict myself in any kind of way, there are times when I think it's fine to not draw and just do something else. I would say, especially, let's say if you are working on a project and you're stuck, and you're like, oh man, I can't. Yeah, I think in those times, take a break, step away from the page, step away from the screen, and refresh. Get a new, fresh perspective. Move on from that, and many times, man, there have been times when I've been trying to say draw a certain hand position. Like, man, I just can't get it, you know. Like, man, I can't get it, you know. And I'm like, can you do it this way? Is the thumb right? I don't know. I just don't feel like is the index finger right? And then I'm doing all these construction boxes. Okay, does it go this way? And and so, and then there comes a point in time where I'm like, you know what? I just need to step away. And then, more times than none, when I have stepped away and I come back to it, I'm like, oh yeah, okay, bam. I don't know what it took me 30 minutes of erasing, redrawing, redrawing, erasing, and so yeah, so sometimes it's helpful to step away and refresh your perspective and your energy as well, but aside from that, it's very healthy just to practice a good routine of just drawing, putting in the time. And I'll be honest and transparent, with having two boys. And I want to be careful because as I say this, I'm not casting blame on having a family. It just adds a different dynamic. When I was younger and single, still living at home, all I had to worry about was getting my homework done and then drawing or playing video games. And so, but as you get older, you have more responsibilities to maintain and juggle. And so with that, then you definitely need to ensure you have good structure. And if it means say, you know what, as much as I would like to have 2 hours to draw, if I have 30 minutes, let me put that in. Let me put in 30 minutes and get my sort of laundry mile of just drawing that day, 30 minutes. And then it's like, hey, you know what? I can do 45 minutes. If I do this thing less, if I don't watch this show, or if I, just because there's ways to squeeze and make time if we really want to. I shouldn't say if we really want to, but if we really need to, there's ways to do that. And like I said, it just helps. It just helps strengthen your skill and your overall mental toughness. So here, there's nothing special, man. Just some weeds. But it just came to my mind. And I was like, oh, you know what? Yeah, let me just do a video. When you feel too bored to draw. And so whenever that happens, you want to nip it in the bud. And you want to just go down and lay down some pencils, some inks, whatever it is, paint. You just want to go ahead and do the thing that you do love to do, although you're not feeling really inspired to do so. And with that, I have reached my time, and thanks so much for listening. It is a short video, but I want to get it out anyway. Be sure to visit my Facebook page. It's facebook.com/Michelot Comics. You can also go to my website where you can find other archived podcasts, videos, and other video content as well. And that's michelolully.com. patreon.com. Also go to my Instagram page, and if you want to support what I do, which would be greatly appreciated, you can go to my Patreon page, which is patreon.com/Michel Volley. So if you're feeling bored, just pick up that pen, pencil, brush, pick up that camera, take some shots, inspire yourself or be inspired by what you are engaging with, and just take the time, 30 minutes, or in this case 15 minutes, and get something going. So thanks so much for watching and listening. Have a great morning, afternoon, evening, night. Grace and peace.